Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of Talking Movies with D, and that's me. Today we're gonna review a movie I've been anticipating for a long time. A movie that basically, as a comic book fan and a video game fan, I didn't know would come to the screen. And that movie is Captain America, and the main part that's the most exciting is Civil War. So let's get to the synopsis, shall we? Um, Captain America Civil War takes place, of course, in the Marvel Universe, and basically it deals with what's happened in the Avengers, Ultron, Age of Ultron, and Captain America Winter Soldier. Basically saying, in our world, we've had all these catastrophes when you guys try to save the world as superheroes, but the problem is there's a lot of death and a body count happening. And the government wants to not only basically the government wants to take the superheroes like Avengers over and say you will only act when we want you to. No matter what you want, you basically belong to us. You're our new military, and we're gonna use you guys in that way. Um, and then we have two opposing sides. We have Captain America. We have Iron Man. Me personally, I'm a huge Iron Man fan, a huge Robert Downey Jr. fan, who's one of my favorite actors. So of course, I'm Team Iron Man. Um, and that's kind of where we jump off. Is we have two opposing sides. It's different than the comic books because the comic books Civil War is about identity, but in this Marvel universe, everybody you know who Tony Stark is, you know who Captain America is, you know their identity. So that's not important. The importance of this movie, and I like the way they did it, is control over what these people do day in and day out. You will only wear your Iron Man suit when I tell you to. You will only put your Captain America suit and go save lives when I tell you to, and the same as the Scarlet Witch and all the other superheroes. So that's the basis of the movie. So before I get started on my positive and negatives, like always, first thing I want to say, no spoilers. I'm not going to spoil this because I personally dodged for the last month, I dodged TV spots, all the little nuggets and new trailers that they had coming out. I avoided them because I didn't want anything else spoiled. I got enough. I was like, I don't want to see anymore. I think I've been doing that recently with a couple movies. And I don't want to see anymore. I just want to watch the movie. I don't want to see anything else. Personally, that's just me. But anyway, so before I get to that, I also want to say one thing that frustrated me with the movie, and this is not a negative because this is us as human beings. Um, they talked about the things that happened in the past movies, the big catastrophes. You had what happened in Avengers where I forgot what those aliens were called now. Well, Loki brought the aliens down on New York, and you had to save the world from them. So yeah, that was one of the main issues that they had. Another one was what happened with Shield when Shield went up against Hydra and the helicarriers came down and all that kind of stuff. That was a catastrophe. And then the third one was in Age of Ultron, when Ultron picked up, I believe Sokovia, and tried to drop it back down on Earth, and all the death that happened with that. Those are the main three that they talked about. They talked about one more, but I can't talk about it because it's a spoiler, so I'm going to leave that alone. So the issue I have is us as human beings, and like I said, this has nothing to do with the movie. It's just it makes me mad, but I have to accept it. This is us. Three of those two are not the Avengers' fault. Because if you think about it, in Avengers 1, we had the aliens come down on New York. They were coming regardless. No matter the Avengers were started because these guys were coming. And if it wasn't for them, we'd have lost Earth. The other one is with Shield and the helicarriers. If it wasn't for I guess not the Avengers, it's technically if it wasn't for Cap and his group and a couple of people in that, the world, millions of people would have died in a matter of minutes because if those events didn't happen. Ultron technically was Iron Man's fault, so I could that one I'm a lenient on. But what angered me with it is, and this is us as a people, is how do you get mad at them for saving the world? It's like, hey, but people died. Like, yeah, people died, but people wouldn't have died if it wasn't for. More people would have died if it wasn't for them. Like the Earth probably wouldn't be here, you know. And so that's a gripe I have. I had to put that out there because at the beginning of the movie, I mean, before the movie started, I knew that was going to be an issue with me, but I have to say that real quick. Anyway, let me stop. Let me get off that stuff. Let's get to the movie and the stuff that really matters. Okay? So negatives. Negatives. The first thing, and this really annoyed me and a couple of friends I was with because every time it happened, we're like, gosh, I didn't like this decision. I believe it's a styling choice because I think that it's a style in older movies that does this. And for one, it didn't. That's not the MCU style, so that's kind of annoying. And on top of that, it's not. It's going with it, not MCU style. It's something that they haven't done in the past, and they could have done better. And that's the text in the movie. In the movie, they're like it's a Marvel movie, so we jump around a lot. They're in Berlin, they're in New York, they're in 1991. They're in all these different time zones and all these different places and times in actual history, which was fine. But before it happened, when we're going to New York or we're in 1991, boom, right on the screen, filled up in white text, it tells us Berlin, 1991, New York. It says it. I don't have a problem with them telling us where we are. That's not my issue. My issue was it was big, bold on the screen. It was jarring when all they had to do was put it in a smaller text at the bottom of the screen. Like in my videos, I put Derek Woodrin and I put my Snapchat name and all that kind of stuff. D2324. You could have put it in the corner and I'd have been fine. But instead, they threw it on the screen, blown up, and I'm watching it in IMAX. This is the way you have to watch it in IMAX for one. But they blew it up on the screen, and I'm like, gosh, that's annoying. That's annoying, and it kind of took me out of the film a little bit. So that's kind of my main negative. I do have a couple others, but that's my main negative. That was annoying to my core. Every time it happened, I had to say something. But anyway, the second is kind of. I feel like the Russo brothers, who are great, they did the last Winter Soldier, and they did this one, and they're doing Infinity War, and I think they're great directors, great storytellers. But I think they really didn't understand what to do with Scarlet Witch and Vision, and it's weird for me to say that because not that they used them wrong, but there were times in the story where I'm like, action's going on, and I'm like, where are these two people? Like all the stuff's going on. I know Vision's there. I know Scarlet Witch there. What are they doing because they can help in this situation? I know they're there. What are they doing? And this most people might not see this, but just me as a person, especially because I love those two characters in the first place. But my thought was, where are they at this point? There's no way they're not. They're not. They can help with this situation. And granted, it wasn't jarring like the last thing, and it wasn't as bad. But my thought, it just something that came to mind. I'm like, there was two situations where I'm like, hey, you could use them, and I know they're there. What are they doing? And so those two, that was a small thing for me. But again, when I get to my positives, not that they weren't used correctly, they just left them out of a situation when they're in it at times. Like, hey, where's so and so at? I don't know. He's just might be just standing there looking off in the corner, just not paying attention to what's going on. That was kind of how I felt about what was going on with them in that part. Another negative is the villain. Marvel's known for not having great villains. Me personally, I think they had two good villains. I guess you could say three, because Loki, of course, was great. Everybody loves Loki. Me personally, I loved Ultron. Granted, they didn't get into as much as I would want them to have gotten with Ultron, but I loved Ultron. And Red Skull, I recently watched Captain America, the First Avenger again. Red Skull was a good one too. Not great, but good. So this villain, which threw me off because I thought it was Crossbones, and then it ends up being this guy named, I think, Zemo. You didn't need him. Really, nobody came here for either of those people. We came here for Civil War. We came here to see our favorite superheroes fight, and you gave us that. We didn't need this guy Zemo. He really was evil to be evil, and nobody cared. And honestly, when stuff happened with him on the screen, it threw me off. I'm like, oh, what are we doing right now? What's going on? Like, oh, him, whatever. And it's forgettable. I know his name's Zemo, or it's something like Zemo, or whatever. I'm pretty sure it's Zemo. But anyway, yeah, it is Zemo. I'm right. So that kind of was, a Marvel thing, but it's Marvel's thing. They do a bad villain. Great movies, terrible villain. And whatever, who cares? The last thing I'm gonna say is it's not. I guess it's kind of a negative. The end credit scene. It's they have two of them, and as usually they usually do one for fun, one to set up the next movies. And the one for fun, I was like, they could have just put it in the movie. I didn't need it as an end credit scene. It was just, it wasn't funny. It wasn't fun. It just this information. It maybe I could be being maybe I'm spoiled because I'm used to the end credit scene is something. Oh, what's it's supposed to be exciting and stuff happened in especially the first one. And I'm like, okay, cool. That's part of the story. But as an end credit or mid credit scene, I didn't need it. I just you should they should have just had it in the movie and I'd have been fine. And then the second one is actually a setup for another movie, and that was not a negative actually. When I think about it, it's not a negative at all. Actually, it's a positive. I did like the second end credit scene. The first one was just it didn't really need to be there. Granted, it was good information of what happened in that credit scene, but it wasn't. You need a fun one, and I guess the second one with I'm not gonna spoil is this the very last one actually is a good one. I just thought about it. I like that. I like that one. It's a setup for a future movie, and it's pretty good. Anyway, let's get to the good stuff because I named a good chunk of negatives, but those negatives couldn't stop the positive. Let's put it that way. So, firstly, I got to start with the directors, the Russo brothers. These are the same guys that brought Captain America: Civil War. Me personally, before the Avengers and Captain America: Civil War, I wasn't a big Captain America fan. He's too goody two shoes for me. Granted, I love Chris Evans, but Captain America as a character in the comic books, video games, whatever, I've never been a fan. And actually, the first Captain America, the first Avenger, it was a decent movie, but I couldn't get over the fact I don't like Captain America. I just didn't. But now, because of the Russo brothers and Chris Evans as an actor, I like Captain America. I don't like him better than Tony Stark, but I like Captain America. I give it his points. So I have to first tip I had to the directors of the movie because they did, for one, a task that could seem impossible that I doubt anybody would want to do in the first place because you could screw this up so bad. This could have been a Batman v Superman or worse. And granted, you guys see my other review. I do like Batman v Superman, but this movie like Batman Superman should have been. It's supposed to be epic. It's supposed to be nitpick stuff. Like if you have a problem with this movie, it should be only nitpick. Oh, they did this. I don't care. Everything else is so great, and that's what my negatives are to me. Is that they were nitpicks. Granted, some of the stuff was jarring, but it was nitpick stuff. And what was I about to say? So the directors, not only did I feel they did a great job storytelling with the movie and the action in the movie, the action was great. I mean, I believe there's four different scenes of action, and every single one of them are so well done. Whether it be the fighting choreography, which I believe they brought in the directors of John Wick to as a favor to help them with the fight choreography and those action scenes, and it showed. It was so great. At the beginning action scene um, was a little annoying at a couple parts because it was a little shaky cam. And I hate shaky cam, but it was real. It was real subtle, real small. So I guess that's another negative technically, but it was real quick, and then and they've stopped doing that crap and got to the greatness. So all four action scenes, I believe it's four, are great, and everybody's talking about this airport scene, and the airport scene is great. It wasn't. I mean, you see at the airport, it's the two groups about to fight, and the fight's great. It's like I believe it's 17 minutes of action, and it's not just Transformers blind CGI, whatever's going on. You freaking care, and it has some funny jokes in it and everything like that. And you care what's going on. You care so and so got hit by so and so, and this is kind of weird for me. And I'm kind of jumping off because I didn't go on more positive, but I cared so much. I didn't when it first started. I didn't like them fighting. It's so weird to say this. I did not like the superheroes fighting each other. That's how much the Russo brothers made you care. It's like, no, don't fight, guys. You guys can do something else. You don't have to. It's like your two best friends. Like if I say my boy OJ and T. If those two was fighting, it's like, hey guys, we gotta stop. You guys can't fight right now. You guys got to get it together. We can't have you guys fight. We got to break this up. And that's how I felt about it. And that's kudos to the directors and everybody else who did the Marvel films in the past that made you care about these characters so much. So I already said the action was great, phenomenal. I'm seeing this movie. I know I'm seeing it later today. I wish I could have saw it another time before I actually did the video, so I can. I feel like I'll score better. I don't know, but so acting was great by everybody, and this movie, which is crazy because it's in superhero movies you normally don't get. You mean you say, hey, oh, so and so is great, blah blah blah. But what they did with Tony Stark is, if you go watch, and hopefully before seeing this, you've seen all the Marvel movies. You don't need to see everyone. You should see at least Winter Soldier and Avengers, and to go with the story because they are a direct storyline in that way. But if you've seen all of the movies, starting with Iron Man 1, especially Iron Man 1, 2, 3, Iron Man story and Captain America story, um, and Ant Man and stuff too. But Tony Stark is such a different character than he is now, and it goes hats off to the Russo brothers and Robert Downey Jr., who's one of my favorite actors, by the way. Tony Stark, he's still Tony Stark, of course, but because of what's gone on in his life and gone on with this MCU, he's doing so many different things, and it's funny because in the movie, personally, I was like, I don't like you being like this, Tony Stark. I'm on your side, but a couple of the things you're making me mad, you know? But I get why he's doing them. And that is a credit to not only Robert Downey Jr., or not only the directors, but Robert Downey Jr. is like, that person, and you put him in Iron Man 1, are completely different, even though they're the exact same person. The situation is different, their thinking is different because of what they've gone through. And that's greatness. I mean, then they did, granted, Tony Stark's the standout with that for me, but every character has that. They have that, they evolve. They're not just, oh, I'm so and so and I'm going to do this, blah, blah, blah. And it's just greatness. It's pure greatness in a superhero movie, and you don't normally see that in these type of movies. That's why you got to give your hats off to Russo brothers and the MCU period because of what they've done. Also because of this movie and knowing what the Russo brothers have done, I can't wait to see what they do with Infinity War because the last two movies they did were so great. In Infinity War, it boggles my mind to see how are you guys gonna fight Thanos. First off, deal with what happened in Civil War, and then now you got to fight Thanos. How do you fight this guy, and how do you make it epic of them fighting this one person or multiple people, however they're going to do it? I'm not going to go into my theories with that. But okay, so uh, another positive, which is how every character was handled. One thing that, and this is the reason why I want to watch the movie again, I went in with the expectations of this is Avengers 2.5. This is after Age of Ultron, before Infinity War, but this because everybody's in it except for Thor and Hulk. So this is Avengers. You know, it's not a Captain America movie. This is Avengers, and the reason why I want to see it again is because I don't like that mentality I went in with because this isn't Avengers. This is clearly a Captain America movie, a Captain America story with the other superheroes involved, and because of that, I had a dilemma at the beginning. I had to. It kind of messed with me a little bit at the beginning of the movie. I'm like, why isn't it like this? And it's like because this isn't Avengers, Derek. This isn't a movie where granted they had quips in the movie, but the both Avengers movies have a lot of quips. It's a lot. You're laughing a lot because it's the Avengers. It's the Avengers. You know they got all these jokes. So I want to watch it again because it's not that. This is the Russo brothers and how they did Captain America: Civil War, and there's some jokes in there, but it's story and character driven, and it's how a movie should be done. And granted, excuse me, the comedy is gonna come organically with the characters, and if you don't have Thor dropping jokes, Hulk dropping jokes with Iron Man and Ultron or whatever, it's not. There's not going to be as many. And I'm giving the movie jokes. Captain America, I seen him and somebody said something and I thought he was going to cuss like language. You know, I was putting my own stuff in it. So I want to watch it again, take out that stuff because I feel like I'll score higher if I go take that mentality out. But anyway, what's the last part? Shoot. Oh, I think I said basically everything, right? The action and stuff like that. So this is a long video anyway. So I'm sorry, guys. Sorry the video went so long. This is a movie I've been anticipating so long. I'm so excited. I've been excited that I've seen it finally. I wish I could seen it again. Well, I wish I could have seen it again before I shot the video because I'm about to go see it in a couple hours. But again in a couple hours. But this movie, man, they have so many good surprises. If you're a comic book fan, you're gonna love this movie. If you're an MCU fan and you like action, like I'm probably gonna see it on Mother's Day too because my mom likes action movies. So I'm gonna see it probably 3 times this weekend, and that's not just because hey Derek, you just like Marvel movies, blah blah. No, this is a great movie that I think anybody would enjoy. This movie's gonna do a killing. I say everybody should go see it, and I'm saying that all before I give my score. But I also want to say this last thing is they really, and I've seen the interviews with the Russo brothers. They just going into characters period, and I'm going back to Vision and Scarlet Witch a little bit. They those two powers are haven't even been touched yet on how powerful they are in the MCU. Granted, in Infinity War is going to happen, but the little bit showcase that they've gotten and everybody else has gotten in the movies, in this movie, is showcased so well. They did such a good job with not only making just crazy action, but character development and tailoring them to everything else. Oh, that's what. I'm sorry, I got sidetracked. There's two more things I had to bring up. Two characters in the movie that are introduced in this movie, and they were who I were worried about starting in. First off is Black Panther. Chadwick Boseman, who plays Black Panther, the Prince of T'Challa. He he was done so well. He represented the actor. First off, Chadwick Boseman. I've liked him since he did 42 and James Brown's. Like James Brown, that boy can act. He's good. Him portraying Black Panther was so great. Everybody's motivation. I'm sorry, guys. I'm trying to vent a little bit, but hey, this is my number 2 anticipated, number 3 anticipated. I'm gonna talk about it. It's gonna be a longer video, but he was so great. The way his fighting style, the fact that in the comic books he will beat the crap out of Captain America, Winter Soldier, and whoever, and he as a character he has his own set of rules, and the way he goes about doing everything, they made him so dope. As like watching stuff that happened in this movie, you're like, dang, whoa, like you're so invested. And you don't even have to be a comic book fan. Just watching the movie and seeing the things that's happening, like, dang, he did that, that happened, blah blah blah. That they did great with that. And the second, the one I know everybody's been worried about is Spider-Man. So this is the first movie that Spider-Man is in the Marvel universe. Like if you take out Amazing Spider. I don't know why I said American Spider-Man. Amazing Spider-Man. You take out the one with Tobey Maguire, which I love. I love most of those movies. Him as Spider-Man. I didn't like him as Spider-Man personally, but this Spider-Man is how Spider-Man should be. I love the last Spider-Man as a character that the way he captured Spider-Man, Peter Parker. I can't think of his name. Andrew Garfield. I like the way he was as Spider-Man. As a character, I think he was a great Spider-Man. This new Spider-Man takes a little bit from both and makes it that much better. Spider-Man is supposed to be Deadpool, but not rated R. He's supposed to be a PG-13 Deadpool where he's he's a kid with superpowers. And this kid has had his superpowers for 6 months, so he's seeing Captain America, Thor, Iron Man, all these people doing this stuff that he idolizes. And he's not supposed to have. He's supposed to be broke, and I mean not broke, but poor, but a genius kid who's just trying to do his thing. And if you were like, even now, like me as a grown man, if I got superpowers and then at some point in time I'm talking to some people I look up to, well, but shoot, they can say actors and athletes and President Obama. Now, if I was to meet them, I would geek out. I'm like, oh crap, I've seen you on TV. Oh, Shaq, I've seen you, dunk on people, blah blah blah, or Denzel Washington. I've seen these movies, blah blah. You're gonna geek out. And he geeks out, and it's so organic to Spider-Man. It's so true to what that character is that I'm so excited to see what happens in Spider-Man. Granted, I hate the name Spider-Man: Homecoming, but we know Tony Stark's gonna be in it, and I think man, I can't wait because they did. He might be my favorite part of this movie, and that's crazy to say because I didn't think that'd be possible. And it's between him and Black Panther, really, but everything else in the movie is so great too. It's like, dang, they stood out, and neither of them are in the movie enough to take it over. They're part of the story, and they do a good job with it. And man, I can't wait. I can't wait to first watch the movie again. And two, I'm so excited for Black Panther when his movie comes out, and I'm so excited for Spider-Man when his movie come out because they did such a good job with these characters. I'm so excited. Period for the next Marvel movie. and the continuation of the story of Marvel. It's good. Marvel's doing it right, man. If DC needs to take note because Marvel's doing it right. I'm so excited for Suicide Squad too. But you know what? Let me calm down. Let me pull it back. All right, guys, it's time to score this thing, right? The score may change after I see it. At the end of this weekend, the score could change. But as of right now, I give this movie a 9.2. Because some of the negatives were pretty jarring. I feel like I went to the movie thinking it was Avengers 2.5, and it really isn't. So I think part of my thinking at the beginning of the movie was kind of thrown off. So I have to check that. That's why I want to see it again. But so I'm going to go with 9.2. But that's all I got for you guys today. As I said, I did it with no spoilers, which is really hard because nobody I know has seen it yet. I said a couple of my friends have seen it, but they're not a geek like me and loves movies. So OJ, see the daggone movie, and a couple of other y'all. Make sure to comment on the video. Let me know what you think, not only on the video but on the movie after you've seen it, and so we can have a conversation because this kind of stuff is what I like. I like talking about these things because it's fun. So make sure to comment or follow me on all social media: Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook, all at dwood2324, and check out my other videos and reviews. If you have seen this movie already and you're looking for another movie to go see, I reviewed Jungle Book, Barbershop, Huntsman, a couple other movies. All have been reviewed recently. So make sure you check those out and let me know what you think. All right? So don't forget to click that thumbs up button, hit the subscribe button, make sure you follow me on all that social media, and I'll get you guys next time. Deuces, and I'm out.